Welcome to Take a Look. Today, a mom's at the end of her rope, literally, and it's attached to a house, and it's the only thing keeping she and her son safe from the evil thing in the woods. Yeah, it's a lot. Oscar winner Halle Berry talking with us about the horror thriller Never Let Go. Also, did you love the comedy movie Vacation Friends? Yeah, well, this is Vacation Friends from Hell.
The always brilliant James McAvoy
Joins us to talk about Speak No Evil, the cringiest, scariest, most suspensefulest thriller of its kind in a long, long time. And the always charming, gentle giant Dave Bautista has found love if he can survive the killer's game. He'll join us to talk about that and so much more as we take a look.
Yeah, heartbreak's one thing. My ego's another. I'm begging you, don't embarrass me, mother. Oh, hey, you're here. I'm here too. Sorry, it's my mom. Timing is horrible. Take a look. It's a show where we talk about things on the big screen and the small screen. This day, specifically, largely on the big screen. We've got action, we've got suspense, and we got some more suspense. We got travel blogger and philosopher Kelly Savannah Deaton.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm awesome. Do you know what I'm excited to talk about today?
What are you excited about?
I have not been excited about a movie like this in a long, long time. Out of nowhere comes the suspense thriller, Speak No Evil. I knew it was going to be good because it's got James McAvoy in it, but
Yes.
it's awesome.
And Mackenzie Davis more than holds her own. And it's been, like you said, a long time where you've actually seen a nail-biter, edge-of-your-seat thriller like this. with
Like
twists
Jamie
and
Lee
turns.
Curtis to Halloween 1978, Mackenzie Davis is going to be the new icon for lady power in horror suspense. In the meantime, I caught up with someone you can always count on a greatness. If you're talking about Split, if you're talking about Glass, it's James McAvoy, and we sat down to talk.
Nice to see you.
You too, you too.
With that said, a little creeped out too.
Good. I'm glad
That's
to
how
hear it.
effective this is.
I'm glad to hear it.
I remember sitting toe-to-toe one time in Toronto opposite Anthony Hopkins after the first silence, and he said, you know, I've recognized that I've been famous for some time, and you have that feeling that someone's looking at you. He said, but once that movie came out, he said, people would physically go to the other side of the room or walk around it or take a different elevator. Are you ready for that?
Oh, no, come on. Paddy's so charming. Maybe. Do you know what I weirdly had? Because I played a lot of people with shaved heads. Or bald people for quite a long time. It was different. I noticed people actually try to avoid me on the street when they saw a skinhead coming down the street, and I was like, wow. So I've already had a little taste of that, but I don't know. Maybe that'll happen with this guy.
Yeah, it's not the first time you played someone unhinged, but there's unhinged, and then there's this guy. And what's really creepy about him, when you first meet him, you kind of think, man, I'd love to have an icebreaker like that by my side all the time. Until.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think if I met Paddy, I'd probably last about 5 minutes before walking the other direction. But yeah, I think somebody like Ben, he's hurting, he's struggling in life, he doesn't really have the answers. And then in walks my character. And as much as he is unhinged and dangerous and all these things, he seems to have one of the secrets of life figured out, which is how to be happy. He is a dangerous person, but he's pretty happy actually. And that's really attractive quality, I think, in someone.
It's attractive, and at the same time a little disconcerting that he can be, you know, I occasionally life calls for you to chop a kid's tongue off, but you know, whatever it takes.
It's an outdated form of parenting. It doesn't work for the modern world. No. But you know, different cultures, you've got to respect it. Right. Yeah, no, it's a strong choice. It's a strong move as a parent.
They, you know, the elderly actors the last century would always say, never work with kids, never work with animals. In this one, my gosh, these kids elevated every scene.
Oh, they're great. They're brilliant. And that was Dan, who plays Ant. That's his first gig. Wow. And he was amazing. Not able to speak in the movie, and he still conveys so much. And that end shot on him at the end of the movie, after he gets some closure or gets some retribution even, it's really quite moving. And a lot of the people that I know who have watched it have been quite shaken by the end of the film, I think because of Dan.
Yeah,
it's so good.
There's something so heartbreaking, and at the end of it, like as an audience, you just kind of,
yeah.
And then they cut to that shot of him essentially doing the same and starting to process.
By the end of the film, it's like a tautly pulled bow the whole way, and it's shaking, you know. So by the time the film ends, I do think people feel quite like, oh my God, I've been through something.
And you know, a lot of that goes into both your performance and how it's cut, and then the score that marries to that, the composition of all of these things. But with that said, on the day, what was the most fun you had making?
Probably the most fun, what was the most fun? All the kind of dinner scenes, probably the scene where we're sitting in the dinner at their little private place, and we're telling them that me and my wife Kira, we enjoy swinging, and like and then we have this whole scene where we simulate and we pretend to have sexual contact and all that, and they're just like, it goes on just way too long, you know, and it's just the ick factor of that was really fun to play with.
He's right. Long before you get to the horror in this movie, just the cringy stuff like that dinner scene.
Yeah, that went on too long. We didn't need to see that.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about you because, like, you and your fiance, no, you and your fiance of the last 6 years, but who's counting? Like, you travel all the time. Would you ever go off and just hang out with strangers like that?
I wouldn't, but my fiance definitely would. He'll meet people and they'll go, come down this alleyway. We have the best bar down here. And he's like, you want to go? And I say, no, I've seen every scary movie. No.
Phenomenal. She's making the sequel. In the meantime, Mackenzie Davis opened up a can of it in Terminator.
Yes.
And she's great in this. Look.
Yep.
This is my favorite cinematic offering of this genre this century. And I'm not just saying that.
What camera do I look into?
I'm not saying that because I'm toe-to-toe with you right now. I've been saying that to everybody.
That's so cool. What did you like about it?
Most horror movies don't offer opportunity to have discussions like this. I mean, most horror movies, we would all agree, oh, I wouldn't have gone that direction. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done this. This does put the family in certain areas where you would have that discussion. What would you do?
I'm so happy you say that, because I feel the same way. It's very much one of those movies where you're like, no, don't go back. Why are you going back? But you're also like, I do get why you went back.
Exactly. No one gets why you keep going back in the horror movies. All right, so that's the wife. We have the husband. Can you define that character in a word?
The husband?
Yeah.
I feel like she takes the lead in this whole movie, and he's kind of subdued, kind of demure the whole time, and then they really have to ramp it up and work together and kick some butt in this movie.
Demure. Very demure.
Very
I talked to
demure.
Scoot.
Very
Take
mindful.
a look.
So many people these days are trained for that pop-out scare. And while, don't get me wrong, there are some pop-out scares in this, there's also this sustained, not just suspense, but cringe factor that's taking place.
One of my favorite things about the film is that it was a slow burn in the original and the remake. And that sort of slow burn and those sort of really psychologically uncomfortable moments was one of the things that I felt like it set apart from other horror films, but also stayed directly in line with the Blumhouse psychological horror.
Oh, yeah. And I love this guy's character, very real character, because like most horror movie dudes, they're like, you've hurt my family, I'm going to avenge you. This guy's like, no, maybe, honey, we could just use words. That guy.
It's up to Mackenzie Davis to take,
I'm saying. All right, see Speak No Evil because...
This is why thrillers are made. Go see it on the big screen. You won't be disappointed.
Absolutely. And the kid, that guy
you mean this kid? That will haunt you.
He's amazing. All right, so people are going to go, what are they talking about? All right, let's cleanse our palate with something nice. Seeking Mavis Beacon. This movie is a game changer. It's going to win all kinds of documentary film awards. Already has. We'll talk to its star, its director, next. Hey, welcome back to Take a Look. Hanging out with me, talking about movies, my friend Kelly Savannah Deaton. Find you on Instagram where?
Kelly Savannah Deaton.
I'm at TV, Mark S. Allen. Right now, let's talk about a documentary. Switch it up a little bit because we got a lot of action coming up. But in the meantime, it's culturally a game changer. First-run documentary filmmakers hit it out of the park. It's Seeking Mavis Beacon. Did you take typing? Do you know of this Mavis Beacon?
I did take typing. I do remember this program.
Yeah.
And I found it very intriguing that they're actually coming up with this documentary. And it just makes you wonder, how did this all come about and how did we forget it so fast? So I love that they delve in and kind of reopen it and let a whole new generation remember.
Nothing we could say here will tell you how many different levels this hits culturally. It is so important. I had the pleasure of catching up with the director up in San Francisco to talk about it. Take a look. That's my favorite part of this, when it goes down a rabbit hole in your mission to find Mavis Beacon, and you hit a dead end. I think that's when this movie shines. And like, I compare it to Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown. The best Parts Unknown aren't when he goes specifically about the dish in the specific city. It's about a problem within the community of that city.
Yeah, and that's why I love Anthony Bourdain, and that's why he would be a huge reference. There's so many references here too. I don't think people always, we're talking about like Black feminist queer films, so obviously I'm referencing things like The Watermelon Woman, but I'm also in dialogue with people like Anthony Bourdain and John Wilson and Nathan Fielder, right? Like there is this journalistic first-person perspective that is happening here, right? And what I think succeeds about a show like Part Unknown, that is part of what we're trying to do here, is you have the person asking the questions in front of the camera, right? And in addition to unpacking all of the ingredients that go into the dish, we're also unpacking the cultural, historical, socioeconomic factors that lead to this dish existing. So in the metaphor, the dish is Mavis Beacon teaches typing, and Olivia and I are just a couple of chefs trying to look at how the sausage gets made.
Director Jasmine Jones and her partner in crime, Olivia. Check it out, Seeking Mavis Beacon. Sundance, the pride and joy of Sundance Film Festival. I guarantee you we're going to hear about it all year long until we get to the Oscars.
Too. And this is such a rich, colorful documentary. You're going to want to see it. It's very interesting, too.
It's super important, opens up a lot of discussions. Another movie that opens up different kinds of discussions, Dave Bautista on the big screen. Let's talk the action of The Killer's Game. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I can't wait to give you Dave Bautista's review himself. He joins us next. Hey, welcome back to Take a Look. So excited to talk about the big action that's headed to the big screen right now. Dave Bautista stars in The Killer's Game.
Yep.
Did you love it?
I loved it. And you know what I love more? His own review. Do you know what he calls this movie?
No, what did he say?
He says, I don't really think of this as an action film. I more so think of it as a rom-com kind of vibe.
Dressed in an action film. That's so
film.
true. It's really true. It opens up with the most. It has the most beautiful dance sequence I've ever seen in an action film.
It does.
With Sofia Boutella. And where would we know her from?
The Mummy.
Oh, we don't talk about that Mummy.
With
anyway,
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I caught up with the two of them to talk about this.
You're relentlessly charming in this. Are you prepared for the people who didn't grow up with your wrestling to fall in love with you in this way?
No, I'm praying for it. I mean, that's why I took the role. I just, I'm still a bit insecure and self-conscious. I hope people receive this, this film well and this role well. But it's a new undertaking for me, so I am a bit self-conscious about it.
Some things in the movie you've certainly done before, but is there something that you can remember 20 movies from now, back to the day? That's the first time I did that.
Yeah, I've just never had like an on-screen love affair. This is kind of a new undertaking for me. It's the first time I've ever played this type of guy, and even some of the stuff that, like the physical romance.
I don't think I've fallen in love on screen either. Yeah. I don't think I've had the opportunity to have it.
And for me, it's the most fun part of the story. It's the heart of the story. Yeah. It's most fun. And I think that's what people are going to really kind of fall in love with this film, is because of the interaction.
I've never seen the balance so great between love story and action ever like this movie. Yeah. With you, this opening scene, I've loved all of your dance videos before you started acting traditionally. This opens with more or less a dance video. How beautiful is the end result of that scene?
I love it. I love it. And Nina McNeely, who choreographed the piece, is incredibly talented. We've worked together on various projects in the past, and she works also very fast, and me and her communicate so well, and I was happy to dance again. I was nervous actually when Julia, and David, I was terrified because I haven't danced in a while.
So it's beautiful. But it's such a strong opening to our film. It just really, really sets the tone. Everything about this dance sequence is so much more than I ever imagined.
Until your character ruins it.
So and then when we come back to that later, it's like,
I also love seeing you. You've been in a James Bond movie. When we first see you in this movie, you could be James Bond. You're looking good, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, you guys. I can't wait for audiences to discover this. Thanks for your time. And also, I was embarrassed because I forgot my socks, and to walk in and see that you're not wearing socks.
No,
amazing.
I think
good to see you.
True. Couldn't expect him to lift his leg out, but he was wearing no socks.
Mark, you don't tell people you don't wear no socks. You
I didn't know.
Them that. Come on.
Didn't mean to out him
What's
that
next?
way. All right, what's next right here? Drew McIntyre, who, by the way, is one of the best villains. Like, I was about to talk about the fact that he cleaned up well to become the leading guy. Well, this guy, Drew, is an amazing villain, a role that Dave Bautista would have had a couple movies ago. We talked.
True.
So I've been talking to Dave for years, and he said he thought he was an athlete until he stepped onto a movie set and realized it's much harder to fake these physical things than to do them in real life. For you, what was your experience on set? Was it grueling?
Yeah, it was different. I don't know if grueling is a word necessarily. Like, WWE prepares you for anything, it's long days on the set, and it's so different. But at the same time, we're 52 weeks a year, travel the world, getting beat up all the time. It prepares you for for literally anything, but the fight scenes are so different because I'm a very physical wrestler. I hit people to leave marks, and I expect you to hit me back because people have a preconception about wrestling. When they watch for the first time and they see a Drew McIntyre match, I want them to question what they think they know. If they know and they see some one of my trademark moves, I'll tell everybody there's a Glasgow Kiss, which is a headbutt in Scotland in there. And if you know, you go, that's his move in wrestling. If you don't know, it's just a cool visual, and there's lots of moments in there throughout the fight scene.
I love the guy's voice. I'm part Scottish, so to hear that, it's like, oh, I love the Scottish bite. He's got it going in it.
I think you pretend you're part Scottish.
I might. I'm just trying to do anything cool.
You do good, though.
I don't know about
brilliant.
that. I loved him in this. I love that you've got WWE versus WWE in a movie, and it seems...
And it's a love story.
It is a love story. Take Dave
Disguised as an
Bautista's words for it.
film.
So true. All right, so let's move on from that to another kind of action, suspense, and thriller. Halle Berry, Academy Award winner, back on the big screen. The movie is...
Never Let Go.
And you won't want to.
Nope.
Talk about that next. Hey, welcome back to Take a Look. We saved the best for last. The Academy Award winner, Halle Berry, brand new action thriller suspense movie. Hitchcock would have loved doing this.
Yep,
It's
Never
called...
Let Go, Never Let Go.
And the premise is they live in a house, and for some reason they have to hold on to a rope. Anytime they leave the house, if they let go of the rope, some kind of evil thing gets them.
Yep, and there's evil things galore in this movie.
A lot of evil things going on.
Right? And it's nice to see Halle Berry in a role like this, because you don't typically see her in roles where she kind of plays that creepy vibe.
Yeah, she's done a little bit of everything, nothing like this.
Yes.
And like I remember, like I likened her character to the mom in Carrie. They're all gonna laugh at you. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. I had a chance to catch up with her and her amazing two co-stars. Take a look.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
It does my heart so well to see you smiling and happy and not under the duress you were in this film. Was it as scary to me as it is to watch?
Yes, it was. It was thrilling, it was fun and scary, but we all had a great time filming it.
Awesome. And I'll go over to here. How are you?
Just like Percy said, like it was scary on set too, but like as you can because like since we were there, we really knew it wasn't real. We knew what we were doing, so it was more fun too. That's what I would really say.
Cool. And Miss Halle, I've talked to you through the years about every genre of movie. This is a little bit new for you. How was it?
It was amazing. To work with these two guys, was a dream come true. They just were. To have young performers like them pull it off. I mean, the movie hinges on how good they are. You know what I mean? So when we were casting, I thought, man, we got to get two rock star kids or this is never going to work. And we got two rock star kids. So it was a thrill, but I also was worried about them because they are kids. It is a subject matter that, makes some moments pretty hard for them. And so I felt like a protective mama in real life and also in the movie.
When I walked in, I said, hey, team.
Yeah.
You really are a team on set as this. Most actors, some actors, they will stay in character sun up to sundown for the run of show. Was she scary mom through run of show or not so much all the time?
Not all the time. She actually was able to flip the switch. She would go from being scary mom to loving mom, come give me a hug type mom. And she was always there to protect us and make sure we were all right, and I'm thankful for that.
That's awesome. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do, and also something that we would do to stay in character is we would keep our dialect, keep our accent, even on set, finish the scene and off set. So.
I'll be honest with you. I'm going to have therapy. This movie got so deep under my skin. Exorcist, Shining, and now this movie for me. For you, reading the pages, did it chill you?
Yes. Oh my God, that's why I wanted to do it. Because it's in a genre that I love. The Shining was one of my favorite movies growing up, and it's been a benchmark for me for what great psychological horror is. And this reminded me of that when I read it. It's complicated, it's deep, it's about generational trauma, it's spiritual, it's got religious undertones, all the things that get me really excited. It's not just horror. Not that it would be anything wrong with it if it were, but it's much deeper than that. There's layers to this story, and I think you go back and you watch it again and again, you'll see the little Easter eggs that maybe you missed the first time. There's more answers in it than you might think.
Oh, thank goodness, because I had so many answers that I needed. The director's not giving it
Go back and watch it again.
Okay, I'm going
Look
to.
for them. They're Easter eggs.
All right, I will. And one thing that really, frightened me and put me ill at ease is that I'm a parent, and so I was really worried about the kids, you two in this movie. And I went to your Instagram pages, so I know they're public, and I saw you guys with your mama. So I want to ask you guys, Anthony, how did Mom react to you going through this stuff in this movie?
She was surprised. She was like, especially since she realized I was working with Miss Halle, so she was like, "Oh, this is gonna be such a great movie. This is gonna be so cool for you. Oh, I hope you do good," because she wasn't really on set with me. It was really my dad that was on set with me.
Percy, how did Mom feel when she saw you going through all this?
She was so excited and nervous. She knows me better than anybody, so she knows that I may not love this genre typically, but she knows that this is the right thing for me. And I know she's very proud of me, and I hope I made her proud. And I'm very thankful to have her by my side.
The world's going to be proud of all of you guys for this movie. So I know it's not a dog and pony show, but finish this sentence. Watch this movie because...
it's something you've never seen before.
Nothing's going to be better.
So
Go
true.
see it.
Because it's not just a thriller, but it's about a family trying to stay safe.
These kids. Someday I want to be as well-spoken as these guys.
I know. I'm shocked. I think they speak even more highly and better than Halle Berry, and that's saying something.
And what's wild in the movie, they have deep Southern accents. Those kids, again,
it's
the young
shocking.
performers in every movie we feature today pretty much steal the show.
Bravo.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they kill it. They kill the movie.
Nose like to Halle Berry. And
Yes.
at the end, do you think...
Wait, so...
The thing in the helicopter.
No, so,
All right, well, we don't want to plot spoil, so forget about that. Let's
and
just
I
jump
don't think so anyway. No,
All right, coming up next week...
Marvel Nerd!
Yeah, Nerd Alert. We're going to geek out. It's all thing Agatha all along next week. Take a look. Continues then. We'll be back.